All right, guys. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Could you guys just confirm once if you can see us and if you can hear us? Jijo, you can say hi to everyone.
Yeah. Hi, excited, Shweta. Excited to be in your channel and doing this. I hope everybody can see me.
I'm actually pretty excited because it's going to be a variety, or I would say a combination of two different kinds of energies coming in together in one session. I saw so many videos of yours, and I can't just get over the energy that you have.
Yeah. Those energies are only for videos, but let's see. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So, as you know, we have a very, very, very special guest today with us, which is Gejo Sreenivasan. And you guys must be knowing Gejo because of many, many reasons. In fact, while I was reading up more about him and also kind of looking at his videos on his own channel, which is Gejo Speaks, I figured that he is very, very popular among cat aspirants. In fact, when I posted about you, Jejo, that you're coming onto the channel, many of these guys were so excited. They were telling me that this is going to be the best collab that you've ever had on the channel. So I was pretty excited to learn more from you about your journey, also about the VRC1000 course, because a lot of these students have been praising it like anything, both on your channel as well as on my channel as well. So thank you so much for being here. We are very, very honored as well as excited to learn from you.
Thank you, Shweta. I'm equally excited. I'm equally excited. And thank you for all the kind words. And yeah, so you are a star yourself. You're a bigger star than me. so, so
I'm
let's flip
actually
this today.
I actually was writing your introduction as to how to introduce yourself. I thought of a variety of ways. I thought I would introduce you as someone who's deeply associated or since a long time associated with Career Launcher. I thought I would say that you are yourself a YouTuber. You have a YouTube channel called Gejo Speaks. Then I thought I would call you the verbal god because I read that comment, or the goat of VRC, because I read that comment a lot of times on a variety of your videos. But I thought that will probably be the best to call you the creator of VRC1000, because that is something I have been reading a lot of comments. So there is a survey that we conduct with students every year. Around this time, September, October, we conduct a survey and we ask them where they studied different subjects from, or sectional topics from, and what would they recommend the next batch. So when I searched for VRC1000 in that particular survey, I saw that many students gave positive reviews. So before anything, before even sharing the questions that these guys have for you in order to improve their VRC scores, I would really want you to help us understand why you created this course and how exactly you teach in it, which makes VRC different from how we conventionally know it.
So the second part I won't know because I don't know what is the conventional way of teaching VRC, or I don't know whether it exists. So
Hmm.
if I go back, so I took the CAT in 1996. In 1996, there were 185 questions to be done in 2 hours. VRC was like 100 questions, and QADI was about 85 questions. And those days, you don't have help like these that people can have. So
Hmm.
everybody's sitting and fighting. I was okay in maths. I was in fact good in maths. I used to love DLR for some reason. VRC was a pain. I used to read reading comprehension passages. I did not understand what it means. Four answer choices. I'm getting stuck with two, B and C. And then I mark B. Answer choice is D. And then it's always been a struggle. I have no idea how I cleared the particular test. And when I eventually joined, I think 2001 is when I got into this teaching field.
Hmm.
Teaching or education, let me say, that I started actually teaching math and DLR from 2000 till 2013. I picked the VRC as a subject in 2014. So I'm actually very new. Though I will say, people will say that Gigi has got 20 years of experience. Really, I don't. Okay,
You're actually, it seems like you're known for VRC primarily.
but, so I'm known for VRC. People forgot that nobody knows that I teach maths, or now I don't actually. So it was a chance encounter where GP, was a managing director of Career
Hmm.
Launcher, asked me to
Correct.
write an article on reading comprehension. I
Hmm.
said yes, and I started searching for it, and I remember all the pain that I had, and then that's where it got started. And so to answer your question, the reason why I've done the course of ERC is if I have to go back in time and teach me, what would I do? For an idiot who did not read too much. For someone who does not understand reading comprehension, is there a method to this madness? So I've always thought of me back then. I tried to make some sense of this course, and that's what it. And the second thing is, being my students have been great. I'm open to feedback from them, and a lot of these features that is there in the course have basically come out of them.
Hmm.
And I'm ever since, if I started this course, actually VARC1000 is a course I started in 2019. And if you look at the course, and I put some videos in my channel, so you can,
Yeah,
as a
I saw
playlist, you
it.
can go check it out.
Correct, correct.
It'll be very different from what is it now, because I'm improving every single day. So while I'm a teacher of VRC, I'm also a student of VRC. And
Hmm.
whatever I've learned, whatever mistake that I made, I learn from it and try and learn from the mistake and give something. So second part, is there any sort of traditional way of solving ERC? I have no idea. So,
Maybe I think like while I ask you the questions that these guys have posted in the community post or on Instagram, maybe while you're explaining them, I might be able to figure out the strategies that you teach in VRC
yes,
1000, and accordingly,
yes,
I can probably understand how it's very
yeah, yeah,
unconventional, because I've been hearing that it's unconventional. But probably if we start off with the questions that these guys have posted, and I think that way we'll be able to figure that out on the way. And
yes. Let's do that.
I would really like to thank all of the people who have joined. There are around 500 people. This is the highest I've ever gotten on any live that I've done. So these guys have come for you and not for me. Look at them, like they don't come
Th-
for
th-
any other live session.
No, no, they have come for both of us. This is like they want to find out what is going to happen if both of us collab.
Correct, correct.
This is what is going to happen. So you can shoot whatever question that you
Yes,
have. I
yes.
will answer it
These
best of
guys
my
have
abilities.
so many questions, and I am very hopeful that they are going to get their answers. So I'm going to shoot the first question that someone has asked, because I don't know who asked it. The name of the username was very different. But this question was asked that in case of DILR and quantitative aptitude, we always know whether the answer is correct or not, because we can arrive at the solution. Like in most cases, if we solve an equation and we arrive at an answer, we can see if it's there in the options or not. But something like that doesn't happen in VRC. So is there a way we can measure that once we have, let's say, solved an RC and we are thinking of, scanning those four questions, how do we know that the answer we are marking is the right answer? Is there a way to measure our accuracy before even checking the solutions?
The first question itself is the most difficult question. This is like the worst question has happened the first. So let me answer it in this fashion, Shweta. Is that let me back it up and talk about the it's both yes and no, okay, but let me sort of back it up and address it in a slightly different fashion, and hopefully this would also address a few issues. So this is one problem, but I'm basically saying there are three problems that I'm guessing students will face with VRC, and you could
Hmm.
probably add more, or if there are more doubts. The first issue is in QA there is chapter 1, there is chapter 2, there is chapter 3. In DLR, even though there is khichdi, I can still figure out some chapters. In BRG, what reading comprehension? What is chapter 1?
Correct,
So okay,
absolutely.
you start by saying that I have no idea how to chapterize this thing called VRG. Paragraph jumble ka chapter 1 kya hai? Who knows?
Correct.
Okay, so that is problem 1. Problem 2 is if it like so this question, specific question. In QA, nobody cares about options. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm not here to figure out eliminate. In fact, some smart people care about option because they use option to their advantage to
Correct.
eliminate.
Hmm.
The option helps them.
Hmm.
Okay. In DLR, who cares? I think you don't care you don't
Correct.
evaluate between options,
Hmm.
and sometimes options helps. In VRC, the entire thing is about evaluating these options.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay. So options is merely so the correct answer in VRC is a reflection, is based on the passage. It is an open book exam, no, in reading
Hmm.
comprehension.
Hmm.
I mean, it's there in the passage. But the answer is there. So, well, but we can't able to figure. That is problem number 1. That is sort of problem number 2, which is to say that the the sort of syllabus is weird.
Hmm.
Options is a game changer. And even look at, let's say, a question. When I look at a math question, I can look at it, I can make sense of it. Reading comprehension, I don't know what passage is going to come to me.
Correct.
I don't know what existentialism, and I don't know what the topic is about. And you get this issue. And the
Hmm.
third problem is because of people like me. Okay. So and teachers. Okay. When the student is saying, look, I am lost, I need help. So
Hmm.
they are visiting this teacher. Two teachers have very diverse ideas.
Hmm.
Somebody would say that you should read the passage first with a lot of confidence. For example, me, with solid confidence. And somebody would say you should read the question first with equal confidence.
Correct.
And both are right, because both are saying that because they have seen student score improving.
Hmm. Correct.
And you get into whole lot of this sort of struggle. And the problem therefore becomes, so to answer your question, the answer is, the issue is much more fundamental. Is the most fundamental thing is we don't know how to figure out what chapters are.
Hmm.
We don't know how to figure out what approach. We don't know what to do with VRC, and that's where the point starts. Now, to specifically answer your question, is there a way to know what your marking is correct? 100
Correct.
percentage, no. Okay, but you can't know with clarity like you have in QA, but you'll have a reasonably good sense, at least in some question, to say that I'm almost reasonably certain that the answer is correct. So it is possible, but 2 to 3 things would have to happen. So that's sort of where,
So
yeah.
you're leaving us at a cliffhanger, saying that there are some things that you'll have to consider. So I'll have to ask you a question around it, but probably later in the particular session. So here I would start off with the preparation-based questions. So there we'll probably divide this session into a couple of parts. We'll start off with
Okay.
some preparation-based questions, and we'll move on to, let's say, specifically improving the mock scores and how to go about the attempt
Fair
strategy,
enough. Fair
so
enough.
that
Fair
we
enough.
cover all sorts of people. Many of them might have just started their preparation. So one prominent question that people have is that while they are reading a particular passage, there is a tendency to zone out or to, let's say, feel disconnected with the passage. This used to happen with me also when I was preparing. Uh, I don't know why it happens, but when you're reading, sometimes you feel lost or you're not able to understand. Then you have to reread. There's a lot of disassociation with the passage at times. So, how to go about solving that issue?
So the first of all, if you dissociate with passage, it's over. I mean, if I don't comprehend the passage, my answer is over. So there are two ways I could answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
Number one way is that you have no choice, but you can't zone out while reading it. You have to do everything. So sometimes what happens, we have people are reading passages. They're in the middle of the second paragraph, and they suddenly realize, how did I reach here? Okay, so
Exactly, exactly that feeling.
that feeling. So what is a paragraph? So passage. There is one author who wants to tell you one thing. The author wants to say something.
Hmm.
Author has wanted, let's say author does not like one idea, or author wants to give something. Author has an agenda when the author
Hmm.
wrote that particular passage. And author then structure the passage into paragraphs. So author will have a structure. So if you look at the sources where the cat is picking from, all the sources are good authors who have got good structure. So a lot of people read for content. What I would recommend is to read for structure. What I mean by that is that if I finish reading paragraph number one, if I don't understand the central idea of paragraph number one, I've not understood the passage. I cannot move to paragraph number two. So I would, a lot of people, what they don't do is take a pause after reading first paragraph. Right. So I just, so paragraph is what? A collection of sentences. There are 5 sentences, but
Correct.
not all 5 sentences are important. One sentence is making a claim. One sentence is explaining the claim. One sentence is giving an example. One sentence is explaining the example. One sentence is restating the claim. But I just want to understand the claim. So I need to understand kya hai and what is
Hmm.
the purpose of the author. Then go to the second paragraph, take a pause, and small pause, I'm saying, reflect on it, and then get the story. If you can have that, so what is important here is to have a very systematic process in which you read. So there are 2 to 3 things that people can also do, is that they actually can pause and take notes.
Hmm. Correct.
So which is not like actually writing an essay. Is not the notes that people have to take is not for consumption later. It's not to check the notes to answer the question.
Hmm.
but at least forcing you to hold and put some 3 4 words. For example,
Got
if you've seen my passages, I draw a lot of emojis.
it.
Okay,
Correct.
so that is to say that so when I have see, I can read well, but there are days when I've taken the cat, when on the days of the cat, I start reading and uh, I don't understand. I have to then okay, let me take a pause
Hmm.
and take notes. So to help people zone out is to break this into, let's say there are 4 paragraphs. Create a process where I can break after each paragraph and reflect on it. And what you should also do is that do this every day as reading something. So if read articles or read anything. So do this exercise that I need to understand the structure. So if they can do that, I think it'll really help them in terms of not zoning out. So
Hmm.
that's
This idea that you shared of scribbling something which might give you a context as to what's the central message of that paragraph, I think it's super, super important. That's exactly what I started doing. Like I started paraphrasing it, which is what I keep telling. I'm not sure if it's the right way to go about it, but it just sort of helped me, like exactly what you said, take that pause which was necessary before moving on to the next one so that we don't zone out. There's a constant reminder after every.
absolutely, Shweta. I think what you're right is absolutely right. You know what is your objective? I think we have to set your objective. People's objective when they read the passage is to finish reading the passage. Okay.
Correct.
मन मन में रखा है मुझे पैसेज खत्म करना है and because timer चल रहा है time चल रहा है
Correct.
but then we and our only objective is reach till the end and magically to understand the passage. That is not the objective.
That
Objective is to
doesn't
understand the
happen.
author.
Correct.
So if people can do that deliberate, it's a deliberate thing, and then things would be better. Yeah.
Makes sense. Um, there is a lot of emphasis that a lot of coaching institutes, as well as even in the books that we use for VARC section, there's always a section of vocabulary. And for someone who has only about 3 months left for the exam, vocab seems to be a very tricky thing to deal with at the moment. Then a question that arises, and a lot of people had this question, is that if there is an unknown word that comes within the passage, which makes it difficult for us to understand the central message of that particular paragraph, then how do we go about it? One approach is we start off with vocab from the scratch, which doesn't seem like the best way to be, at least. Then the other way could be probably understand the context of the word, which is what I used to tell them as a suggestion. But what would your suggestion be to deal with the situation?
Okay. So the first thing, let's start with the first one. We just don't have time to start. So you can build vocabulary 2 ways. One is organic, one is inorganic. Organic is by reading as diverse as possible. That's if you have done that in your life, hopefully you will not be in a situation. But
Correct.
here we are, right? And the second is inorganic, which means I am systematically studying vocabulary. Maybe let's imagine for example, a book like Word Power Made Easy. Okay, as an
Exactly.
example. But that has to be taken as a course, which in itself will going to take about 90 days, which then
Exactly.
has to be built and worked on. So we just don't have time. Okay, so let's start with the assumption that well, I'm not going to do any inorganic study of vocabulary. Okay.
Okay.
Second assumption, let me start from the assumption that I am going to find words that I don't know meaning of. Okay. I will find words, you will find words, everybody will find words. There are two kinds of words, Shweta. One is, for example, a concept in itself. Okay. So for example, let me look at a word which is postmodernism. Okay. Okay, so this is a term. You heard modernism, you heard postmodernism, abhi aa gaya postmodernism. Okay.
Okay.
Or surrealism. Okay, so there's a term like that which I don't know. Okay, you have to at that point in time assume that the cat does not want you to know these terms.
Right.
Let's go back and look at what is the cat trying to do. Is the cat wanting people who has got amazing vocabulary that they can write paragraph that nobody understands? Cat is not looking for. IM is not looking for that. 90% of people after IM speaks in their local language only.
They do.
Okay, so if you eventually go do sales, you are in sales.
Yeah.
Like, कहाँ जाके you'll go speak in English. Okay, the sales is palpable. You can't. You're gonna. So IM is. Let's start from there. Is I'm not testing. So
Correct.
because the purpose of what is sort of the cat passage test you is that do you broadly understand the passage? So if
Correct.
there are terms like this, post-porno, I'm just going to call it X,
Hmm.
okay, or something. Now comes the other issue. You are reading something and there is a word polemic, something all
Hmm.
palpable. I don't know the meaning of the word. I don't know
Hmm.
the meaning of word. I can't do anything about it.
Hmm.
Okay, a general sense is that is it a positive or negative sort of word, and in a lot of these cases, these words would be some modifiers.
Hmm.
It's not the subject. It's not the verb.
Hmm.
Uh,
Correct.
it's not the object. It is a modifier. Who cares about modifiers? Okay. So if I love you endlessly. Who cares about endlessly?
Correct.
Okay, I can use whatever word to that. So my thing is that if you've come across a word that you don't understand, it's fine. You are obviously carrying on, holding on. It's like watching a movie, right? In the movie, who understand every single thing, but I
Hmm.
understand the story. If I
Correct.
if you go back to what I said just recently, just before that, if I can understand the story, that's going to happen. So my first thing is let's let's trust the I am to not test your prior knowledge on anything.
Hmm.
Okay, let's assume that we are incapable of now creating vocabulary, studying vocabulary.
Correct.
Okay, if I think how do I put this? We can I think what people do is do something of everything. ये भी
Hmm.
करो, ये वो भी करो. We
Correct.
should not be doing something of everything. We should do everything of some things
Hmm.
and nothing of other things. Okay.
Correct.
So you have to eventually figure out मुझे क्या
Hmm.
चाहिए. There are
Hmm.
24 questions. 12 करेंगे मतलब amazing. Okay.
Hmm.
If I do about 13 question, 14 question, I'm like a topper. Okay, if I have so that's about what if I'm able to get something like a 11 10 9 question 10 question, I'm reasonably okay. There are 24 questions,
Hmm.
so it's not something that I have to ensure that I have to solve I have to get every single question correct. So all you got to do is don't stress on things that there is no solution.
Hmm. Got it.
Okay, at least now, and then focus on things that can help you. That would be my take. So
This
there
is
it ends.
actually beautiful because what you're saying is that even out of 24 questions, even if we assume that the exact word is leading to you not comprehending that particular paragraph and hence is making it difficult for you to mark the right option, that might just be one or maximum two such questions out of 24 questions. So, isn't
Yeah.
worth spending so much time on. And
So,
anyway,
so,
you
so
can't do no matter how much time you spend, there's nothing you can do.
what will you do if
Yeah,
I came across the word I don't know, but करूँ क्या मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता ना. तो ये इसमें ट्रस्ट कर लो कि even if there's a tough word in a particular passage,
hmm,
your marking the answer will not be dependent upon your knowledge or deep knowledge of those words. So let's
got it.
start from there and then move on. Yeah.
Makes sense. So you mentioned that लोग सब चीजों का थोड़ा थोड़ा अभी कर रहे होंगे. So on that note, Dhruv had a question which is that out of let's say reading पे focus करना, grammar and vocabulary तो you addressed, or maybe let's assume some other things that they might be doing. In these last 3 months, what would you recommend them to focus more on?
So if you're taking the cat, right? If I look at cat from 2015, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, cat has not asked a single grammar question.
Hmm.
Cat used to ask a lot of grammar question during my time.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Abhi
Correct.
cat has not asked. The
Hmm.
paper that you have taken, my gut feeling is that you have not seen any grammar
No,
questions.
we
Oh,
haven't,
okay.
thankfully.
So if the cat does not ask grammar question, why am I doing grammar, first of all? Okay.
Correct.
I'm also assuming that if this year by cat is सबको surprise कर दिया, that cat
हाँ,
surprise everyone and ask grammar question, everybody will have problem. If
hmm,
everybody has a problem, then there is no problem only. So,
correct.
so grammar is not a problem only. Let's check grammar out. Okay.
Hmm,
So therefore, I'm going to focus on comprehension. What question they have? They have paragraph based question and passage based question.
hmm,
Both are comprehension based. Having said that, there are other exams which ask questions on grammar.
correct.
Okay. Huh? So, the crazy exam called SNAP. I don't know what that exam is. Okay. So I don't know, which don't have reading comprehension. There is some question on grammar. Let's look at NMAT. NMAT is a very standardized test.
Hmm,
Okay, so their question is by and large fixed. You buy the official guide of
hmm,
NMAT, study those specific question of grammar, and even if let's say let's look at NMAT for example. There is reading comprehension, there is paragraph jumble, and there are some
Hmm.
grammar vocabulary.
Hmm.
In reading comprehension, paragraph jumble, if you get 80% accuracy, and grammar में with the gut feeling से 50% भी कर लिया, your life is okay. So to answer Dhruv's question, Dhruv अब चुपचाप focus on passive comprehension. Grammar में छोड़ दो, time नहीं है अपने पास वो सब. Okay.
There is another important question, which will be a follow up of this question, since you mentioned reading is very important and reading comprehensions are very important. So, those guys who are currently zoned out, focus, because this is an important thing that you'll need to take away. And Jijo, I would really want you to also focus on your VARC1000 course and help us understand how you teach it there, because I'm sure you must have elaborated it a lot there. And if you could spare a few of your tricks here, that will really help them, which is how to go about effectively reading an RC. So there's a passage, there are a couple of questions. How
Okay.
does one effectively read it? You mentioned the point that you take a few notes after every paragraph.
Okay.
Some other tricks that could help these guys.
See, so at the end of the day, my objective to read is not to basically understand the passage. My objective is to get marks.
Hmm,
Right? Hmm?
correct. Correct.
So मेरा objective marks लेना है. Okay. Huh?
Hmm,
So I have to read. So therefore the starting point, I think this is important for everybody to understand. This, I think the biggest problem with respect to, and which is also the philosophy of my course also, Shweta. And let me ask your thought on the, what I'm going to tell you. Okay. A lot of people think of actual CAT papers as mocks. They will do
hmm,
that towards the end. So, which is great for maths and all. So imagine, for example, verbal, right? You are using, let's say, whatever coaching class ka material
hmm,
and solving the reading comprehension.
correct.
Those options are created by the teacher there.
Hmm,
So I am learning the traps created by the teacher. I am
correct.
learning the questions created by the teacher. I am learning the passage picked by the teacher, and then I'm going to apply it into the CAT.
Hmm,
मुझे पहला उल्टा करना है. Okay. मुझे सीखना है उससे. वो क्या कर रहा है? So I have to first
correct.
start by saying, what is CAT doing? What is a CAT trap? So if I look at the way in which my pedagogy starts, is to
Hmm,
look at the CAT. So the first point is that I should start picking up these. There are probably 66 sets of reading comprehension in the CAT.
hmm,
I'm not asking you to solve it. I want you to learn from it. Even better, I want you to teach yourself from it. Okay. Now,
hmm,
once you gather that, use that as a source to answer the question how to read. So my sense is that you should keep it very simple. I have said people don't skim, don't scan. Okay, chupchap padho. The question says read the passage carefully and then answer the question that follow. So carefully read karo. Okay. Huh? So the
hmm,
first thing that I would generally tell students is that it's about differentiating between what is essential and what is non-essential.
hmm,
Okay. So if I, for example, say we should ban alcohol because alcohol is bad for health, what is essential there is banning alcohol.
hmm,
Okay. That is what I'm trying to prove. Alcohol is bad for health is used to justify it. Okay.
correct.
So this you can go with sentences. So in sentences, learn to chunk sentences. So simple thing. I think it's workable grammar. Understand
Hmm,
the subject, verb, and the action. All the modifiers may not be really important, but you read everything. So when you read sentence by sentence, right? Don't hurry. Read at a pace of a comprehension. We are given only 500 words, right?
hmm, correct.
Read just a pace of comprehension. Look at each sentences. Some passages has got long, sort of dense sentences. Okay, so
Hmm,
some are shorter ones, and then keep on and then don't worry about details and keep looking at the broad idea.
hmm,
Once you get the broad idea, please, and when you go to the question, people say that there is inference questions. I also say inference question. What is it? Main idea question. According to me, there is one question. Okay, which of the following is true based on the passage. Every question is merely
comes.
asking you, हाँ,
Hmm,
passage क्या बोल रहा है?
correct.
तू छोड़ना question को. Okay. मुझे फिर, and the second very important thing is to understand option traps.
Hmm,
Okay, I should be able to understand the traps set by the question setter. Which question setter? The IM wala.
correct.
So and other thing is that people tell that there are close options, but there are no close
Exactly.
options. कुछ नहीं
No.
है close. हाँ? But she is very
I
close
used
to me. She's not close.
I used to always have those two options जिसमें eliminate हो ही नहीं पाता था, and
Correct.
any
So
time when I marked an option वही गलत निकलता था. I don't know how
yes,
that happens.
it happens. It happens to you. It happened to me. It happened to everyone. Just because I am feeling it is close, it doesn't mean it is close. Basically,
Correct.
what has happened, I fell for a trap.
Hmm.
So the key therefore is to me doing the analysis and then analysis about trying to understand specific trap, what the trap that is set in the question. It's very simple reading comprehension, Shweta. I need to know how to read aram se properly, and I should know how to eliminate answer choices, and that's all cat is.
And would there be any traps you would want to tell them, or any other methods to eliminate those options? Because you
See,
mentioned
there
there are
are
traps, so they would go about, let's say, going through the reading comprehensions of the past years and trying to understand those traps themselves. Are there some classified traps that you teach in your course?
so I do okay. So these are names that I've given. Okay,
Okay.
and everybody would probably say, do the same thing, and they're given different name. My name is Beast. Okay, broad, extreme, alien, sidetrack, tone mismatch. ये मेरा नाम है. So I tell people to be the beast when you look at the options. Let me explain.
Okay.
Okay, one quick 2 minutes class on it. So
Sure.
first of all, we have to understand what is a wrong option. Okay, when I say wrong, matlab not aligned to the passage. Okay, now there are of course questions which say which of the following is true except and so on and so forth. Okay, but I'm saying which of the following is not aligned to the passage. So if let's say for example I would make a statement that let's say my teaching experience is more than 20 years. Let's say that's a statement. And can you draw the inference that my teaching experience is more than 5 years? You'll say, yes, that's a true statement. My teaching experience is less than 3 years. That's a false statement. But can you draw the inference that I'm a great teacher? You
I
cannot.
know you are, but I can't
But
draw the.
you cannot draw the, or let's say I'm married. You can't, right? So
Correct.
it is not true. It is not false also. इसको बोलते हैं cannot be determined. Okay. So let's call it uncertain. The traps that they're set here is this uncertain ones.
Okay.
Okay, which means I don't have enough information from the passage to answer this question. Okay, and the game idhar hai. If let's say if answer choice is given which directly contradicts the passage, life is over. Let's look at how people can create uncertain options. One is to just increase make it like slightly make it more broad.
Okay.
So passage the passage is talking about let's say women in India. I can just talk about women in general. Okay. So make it increase the scope, right?
Got it.
The second is put some extreme things. Matlab, only, always, never, primary, most, best. Okay.
Correct.
And the third is write something which is not there in the passage. Let me call it alien. So I'm writing something with these are words. This is not even full sentence. So let's say the answer choice has got about 5 sentences. One word is not there in the passage. And the most question setters are very lazy. Okay. So one of the easiest trap is this thing called sidetrack. Sidetrack. Let me explain what this means. Sidetrack. So
Okay.
sidetrack wala trap. Iska meaning hai, I am asked a question specifically from paragraph number 4. अभी मुझे ऑप्शन बनाना है गलत ऑप्शन. दिमाग नहीं लगाना मेरे को. I will just pick up something from paragraph number 1 and give it as an option.
Got
It is
it.
true but does not answer the question. This happens a lot. And then tones mismatch. अगर author ने गाली नहीं दिया passage में तो option में नहीं देना चाहिए. So there are only a very few things and people can then think about much more things. So at the end of the day, so when you fall for any trap, and if you keep on falling for a trap, at this point in time, treat it as an amazing learning experience. Because I'm going to learn something. What people do is that when they fall for the trap, get bad score, they'll sit and cry.
Correct. Correct.
रो क्यों रहा है?
No, makes sense. This is the most important stepping stone for them to not repeat
Yeah.
the mistake in the next mock and score well.
We will still make mistakes. I'm sure that I think out of the 4 will so but at least so therefore because and then all that I'm doing is there are 4 answer choices, right? Let's say 1 is correct, 3 is wrong. The chance of any answer choice wrong is very high. I am not trying to find out anything correct. I'm just trying to find out a problem. I'm looking for a problem. So what I would do, or what I will ask students, is to chunk this answer choice in small, small units and figure out where the problem is.
Got
And
it.
you will always find the problem, which is why I'm saying is that if, let's say, you got confused between answer choices, you just fell for a trap. You have two choice. Either chupchap nikal jao, aage badho. Okay. Because the moment you have fallen for a trap, you can't resolve it. Yeah, you bet on something. Whatever you think is the answer, mark the other one. Usually that works. So, and either keep on doing, but once the test is done, I'm not talking about CAD, I'm not talking about this point in time. It's a great learning. But again, what I'm saying is that we should learn this from CAD. I can tell you one more. I don't know whether I should say this in this channel.
We can make a VARC1000 here itself.
No. This is a very, see, I have created passages for mock test. Okay.
Okay.
Huh? So
Oh,
not all
okay.
the passages. So I've created passage of mock test. When I create a passage for mock test, problem kya hai na, is that I want to showcase I'm a stud. Okay. So I'm unnecessarily creating this extra bit of evilness in creating the wrong answer choices.
Correct.
I am expecting the poor kid to read the passage in about 4 minutes. And I've created an option which requires, and I, as a question setter, I've spent half an hour on the passage. Read it once, read it twice, read it third time, read it fourth time, got deep understanding, and I'm creating these options. In most of the cases in mock test, it is not a fault, it's not intentional. Okay. Because when
It
I'm
just comes.
creating a question, your feeling is that, yaar, ye to bahut easy hai. Public गाली देगा, बोलेगा mock test अच्छा नहीं है. This is a big problem. No, if the mock is easy, sir, bakwas mock. Okay. so, if you rely only on your mock test to learn the traps, you can apply it. Okay, you will fall flat. So again, I'm saying that you should go to the CAT. So if you look at my course, I have started with CAT papers. Okay, I've started with CAT questions. So let's find out what they're doing. No.
Correct.
Okay,
Makes sense.
let's learn from them as much as we can, and then जाके apply करके देते हैं ना. So that would be the answer to that question. Now that's a long answer to a short question.
No,
Yeah.
it's the most important answer. So I hope that these guys noted down what B stands for. It's broad, extreme, alien, sidetrack, and tone. So
हाँ, तो
guys,
ठीक है.
when
तो मैं एक और चीज करता हूँ. तो since I've said this, I will just put that one lesson on Beast onto my channel.
correct, please do
Okay.
that.
So
Guys, that will also be a clue for you to go and subscribe to Gejo Speaks,
yeah,
because I
please.
personally went to all his videos like in the last 3-4 weeks that he's added. Tremendous teaching, and I'm not even saying it just because he's here. Like, you would realize how your marks improve, and if you don't trust me, just read the comment section. Jojo, like, I've really been inspired by your comment section. People have shared that they've improved their scores by like twice and thrice, which is amazing to see at this stage. Like, people who are starting just now, they're saying that they went through your course or they went through your videos and they were able to improve their mock scores by double, triple, which is like
So
amazing.
because it is very simple. Okay, so when you said that, um, so I teach something very different. I don't. Okay, but people come and tell me, so how to read fast? I said, get lost. Why you want to read fast? चुपचाप पढ़ना. Okay, so sir, what is there's no strategy and all. I think strategy is keep it simple, soldier. Learn to read the passage at a pace of your comprehension. So you have now, you are wherever you are. तूने जिंदगी कुछ पढ़ा नहीं. हाँ, अभी है इधर, जाना है, आया, जाना जाएगा ना. So I have to be true to my ability. No, I just have to read the
Correct.
passage. And yeah. So I think some more questions will come. So I'll pick up more questions, and
Surely. I
if
would.
if you let me, yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, of course. I will talk about Anshu. He praised one of your videos on parajumpers, which is the reason I said that your videos are impacting a lot of students. He praised your video on parajumpers. He said that I've significantly improved how I am solving parajumpers now, but he still wanted you to share some more tips to ace that one single question that's not correct, or not, he's not able to arrive at the right answer.
Okay, so everybody has to understand this about paragraph jumble. Okay, so learning has to start from CAT. Now CAT is picking passages from various sources. But one thing that everybody has to understand is CAT is doing super edit into the paragraph. to ensure that there is just one logical way of arranging it. Okay,
Correct.
there is just one logical way, which means every paragraph will have a clear start. It may not have a clear end. Okay, so one, you can look at a start. Second is there are a lot many of these things that echoes or ideas repeats. So biodiversity, ideas repeat. Okay,
Correct.
there are a
Correct.
lot of signals. There are a lot of signals. So my basic thing is that there is echo words. I call it echo. Right. I see echoes. Okay. So then I see that these things are connected together. There are signals. So they do some edit to remove all the signal, but some of the signals they just can't. These, however, you see
Correct. Correct.
there are this signal. And the third is bet on this idea of what I'm gonna call as zooming in. Every human being starts talking something that is broad and gets narrow. Okay. Nobody says there, okay, number one, alcohol is bad for health. Number two, I don't know why I'm saying alcohol as an example, but alcohol is bad for health. Number two, alcohol is whatever, causes harm to society. Therefore, alcohol should be banned. Nobody speaks like this.
Correct.
People
Correct.
पहले बोलते हैं ना ban करो alcohol. ये दो reason है. So you were always looking at idea zooming in. So zooming in of idea. And then you can also find, I think a lot of people call it mandatory pair. There are two sentences that it's like hold together. I just call it block. Okay, sentence blocks because mandatory pair is too long to speak, so I just call it blocks. Okay, I think again, Anshu asked, no, Anshu ने पूछा ना, Anshu, एक ही idea है. तो ना, what you have to do is that जाके start with cat. Paragraph number questions. There are enough and more paragraph number question that is out there which is created very badly. People have just put random paragraph from here and not thought about it to create a paragraph into one thing. So a lot of paragraph number question that is there which is bad. You go to the source, learn from each one. Each this. कितना paragraph jumble question? Some jumble question होगा. 2020.
Max 3 आएगा अभी तो.
2017, 18 and 19. Two slots each. 4 twos are 8. 8 threes are 24. फिर 3 threes are 9. 9 threes are 27. 27 plus 24.
51.
51. 27. 61. कितना भी है? हाँ?
मैं publicly अपना
51. 51. 2 IIM people are
Thank
sitting
God,
and doing
thank
math.
मेरा font इतना बुरा है मैं publicly बेइज्जती कराती हूँ अपनी अभी.
ये कैसे का 50 क्वेश्चन है. 50 पकड़ते हैं. तो 50 लेते हैं. 50 क्वेश्चन में हर एक क्वेश्चन को even if you spend what about 10 minutes, that is 500 minutes. That's not even 10 hours. So let's just learn from it and then move on. You will be solid and it's clean. Okay, next.
Okay. So this question has been asked by Yash, and you all can thank Yash because Yash is not the only one who asked this, but I picked up his name to speak in this session. He has asked, what should we do in the next 3 months to be able to score more than 99 percentile in VARC? Or even 90 percentile in VARC would do for him.
Yash, you said Yash. Yeah.
Yash.
Okay. Yeah. Yash, let's look at 90 percentile and
90.
take 90 and 99, right? Okay. So 90 percentile means that I have to get 8 questions correct. Net. 99 percentile means I have to get 13 questions net correct.
Okay.
If you don't get 8 questions net correct by preparing for 3 months, don't prepare. Okay. Now let's start from there. 8 question अपने को 90 days में नहीं होगा. मतलब what is the point in preparing? So let's start from there. 90 तो होगा. Okay. And we have to then go to 99. Okay. This is the simple plan of action. One simple plan is join my course. I'll take care of you. Okay. If you are not joining, then this is a simple plan. So our first objective is that the VA, which is 3 paragraph jumble, 3 paragraph summary, and the new wala question, so sentence placement, paragraph completion question. Out of this 8 VA question, is it possible for me to get about 5 to 6 questions correct? If I can get 5 to 6 questions correct, you have to get 90 percentile. Okay. From VA alone. Okay, so you have to. There is no choice. Okay, so let's start building. So what is it? All these are paragraph the base questions. So I have to go first to the source. So you could probably figure out, let's say, who is your faculty, right? Understand what the faculty has given you some tips in terms of jumble, summary, and whatever, and then you start teaching yourself. We have counted about 50 questions available for paragraph jumble and paragraph summary. These 50 questions is not for you to solve. These 50 questions is for you to learn and teach yourself. You have to come out and say that I have understood what this question setter was doing here. I have understood the logic here. I'm going to spend the question one by one. We are looking at 50-50 or paragraph jumble, paragraph summary. Paragraph summary is anyway reading comprehension only,
Hmm.
practically. So 50-50, that became 100 question. 100 multiplied by what? We are looking at, even if I spent 10 minutes, 1000 minutes, 1000 divided by 60, whatever maths, not much. This is 100 divided by 6. People are going, sir, what is this? One IMA sitting, one IM calculator sitting, can't do simple maths. Hey. So you know the maths.
I
Okay.
wasn't prepared for this in the session.
20, 20 घंटा 20 hours. आपने को 20 घंटा. Okay. Paragraph sentence completion. I think that the only sources you have to, sorry, what is it? Paragraph completion question, you should have an approach. And then every mock you analyze, you get this about 4 to 5 questions on an average, correct. So that is our sort of first step. And and when it comes to reading comprehension, I think keep it absolutely simple. So there are a lot of people who has done close to 300 passages and the scores have not improved. Now they're telling that I'm going to solve 300 more. So logic है. तो मतलब तूने 300 passages solve किया, score improve नहीं हुआ. What is going to happen in the next 300? I think let's stop thinking about quantity.
Quantity, correct.
Indians are, I'm sure that every single student, if I open their laptop, there is folders of content available.
And they still keep asking for more in their Telegram groups.
People, so a lot of people say that I've finished. What do you mean finished? What did he finish learning? Did he finish? What did he finish doing? You did not finish anything.
Correct.
So I think the key thing is, let's, for example, keep it very simple. That I have to, if I'm not analyze the cats, let's take one week, one cat paper, and then learn from it. Number 2 is that every mock that you're taking, keep doing your analysis. Analyze, okay, keep analyzing, and then and then probably one sort of passage every single day. But the key thing is, you got to stick to one process, which I go back and talk about. The first thing that I've said is the problem is with a lot of faculty members, me included, telling with a lot of confidence, यही करो. Then you're like, जो sir ने बोला है तो यही होगा. Then you go listen to someone else who's going to say with a lot of confidence that कुछ और करो. And they are also right. I am also right, because anything will work. This is such a beautiful subject that you would listen to all the people who have got more than 99 percentile. All of them would have done very different things.
Correct. Yeah.
But the most important thing is you have to stick to one idea, one process. You have to have a process of reading. You have to have a process of solving questions. You have got a process, and it is the process that you stick to no matter what. You don't change. Your score will go up, score will go down. Score will go up, ignore all that. I think the maximum pain point is mock score is fluctuation.
It is.
Maximum. Let it fluctuate. No, who cares? But you will not change. So to answer Yash's question, keep it very simple, Yash. Okay, let's for example take 30 days. In 30 days, I'm going to learn from every single cat paper like nobody's business. I'm going to be a hero. Yash will come back and say, Gejo sir, I can teach you. Okay, that's where Yash will come and say, because Yash, anybody can teach. Okay, so the thing, it is such a simple subject. So nothing complicated. So you start with this. Okay, start in the next 30 days. Start the habit of reading. Read diversely. Read like a mad person. Read as much as you can. Okay, so read diversely. And then obviously you're solving your mock test. And continuously I'm sure that daily test or daily reading and daily mocks, and keep analyzing them and keep on going. I can guarantee you that that this is a this is something that is based on skill. It's a purely skill thing. The reason why a lot of students have improved is not because I did any magic. It is simply because I have basically told them to stick to one process.
Hmm.
Okay. So you stick to one. I think that every single day, Shweta, I've got I've people are pained, right? Genuine worry that they have that scores are not improving. Scores are
Correct.
not improving. Scores are moving up. And it's really frustrating in
Hmm.
this process. But what you got to do is just stick to it, and your score will improve. At the end of the day, all we want to do is get about 11, 12 questions net correct. And we
Correct.
are attempting those many questions.
Hmm.
इस ऐसा नहीं कि हम लोग attempt नहीं कर रहे हैं.
Hmm. Hmm.
We are making mistakes. So keep on learning, and I'm sure life will be good. So there you go, Yash. That is
I hope it
my.
helps him as well as so many other people who had this particular question. Jiju, you were mentioning you had a Telegram group, right? In which you had how many did you mention? How many members?
Don't remind. So
No,
basically
no.
now,
Huh.
so for my VRC 1000, so people
Hmm.
have enrolled, right?
Hmm.
So then everybody comes to this group.
Hmm.
So currently the number of people enrolled is, I think currently the group has got to 1,500 or something.
Huh.
The number of enrolled students are more. I think people have not joined. Okay.
Okay.
And so all what I try to do in the group is answer questions like these every day.
Okay.
And so one of the biggest pain is answering reading comprehension question. Somebody will post the passage, sir, why not see?
Why
So
not
the
see? So you have to read the entire passage first, then attempt the question, and
no
then understand why not
so
see.
no, I think I'll give us an advice to everybody, okay,
Hmm.
in terms of how to ask a doubt of reading common passage to your faculty,
Hmm.
right? I think faculty, to your friends, how you engage with students so that you can improve your learning. This is how you ask, and this is what I insist with my students also. If you, let's say, you marked A, answer is C or whatever, and you should, if when you ask that doubt, first you write down why the given answer you think is a problem.
Hmm.
Next, you write down why do you think your answer is
Is right.
correct.
Correct.
In most of the time, the process of writing down only you realize what you made mistake you made. Okay.
Correct.
Second of all, if you write this down and share it with whichever group that you're in,
Hmm.
then that all that people is looking at is, okay, I only need to evaluate this thought process.
Correct. Correct. And
Okay.
not the
So,
entire.
so I will give this advice to all faculties also, anyone watching. Okay. Though I have managed independently, single-handedly, Shweta,
In the
answer the questions of
Telegram.
students in the group,
This is,
1,500
I don't know how
students.
you do that. This is the reason I'm not on Telegram because there are so many questions that I that's the only thing I'll be doing full day long then.
You'll have to ask the student whether they answer all the questions, but I tried my best to answer every single question. That's it. So it's just that uh, and nowadays a lot of people know what the answer to the question is. Every other questions stick to the process that people will keep answering. So yeah, so I have a group. It's always great. I think it's once you are invested in somebody else's sort of uh, success, right?
Hmm.
And the issue is that, see, if somebody is not putting in effort, it's fine. But a vast majority of students, I'm sure,
Hmm.
are fighters,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And it's when they put in the fight and then they don't get the result, and that's a pain, and
Correct.
that's a real pain. So the only encouragement, I see the pain in the group a lot,
Hmm.
and that pains me a lot in a lot of many sense, in terms of me not, I'm helpless. Okay, so my only sort of take is to just hang in there,
Hmm.
because it's a process of learning. Like, any skills is process building. My take is that 60 days is more than enough to you have to stick to something. कुछ तो improvement होगा. At least
Hmm.
you'll move to some level. If you want to get to like 99.9 and all, then the discussion is very different. Then
That's a
yeah.
very encouraging statement to be honest. Like the people who are watching and preparing for CAT 2023, I'm sure they'll get very inspired by the fact that you're saying in 60 days they can improve their scores.
Yeah, so when I started the course in VRC 1000 first year, 2019.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, uh, I basically decide 60 days. My thing is that we have to be lazy. Okay, minimum effort, maximum outcome. Okay.
I like that.
So when I start thinking, that's how I think. No, everybody says the minimum effort. When people say that you have to study 6 hours every day, 7 hours every day, I'm saying, "Pele, pele." So that's it. So I don't know. Lot many students, Shweta, are sitting at home and preparing for the CAT.
Hmm.
Maximum question comes from these group. Okay, because also there are people who have completed graduation or quit the job and sitting at home and preparing for CAT.
Hmm.
Okay, a lot of these worries are coming from this group.
Hmm.
Okay, the genuine worry because they have a lot of time to think.
Correct, correct. Hmm.
When you have a lot of time when you have a lot of time, you do a lot of unnecessary things also.
Hmm.
Okay, so
खाली
so
दिमाग
you
शैतान का घर.
so the only thing is bet on one idea, stick to it, and eventually things will improve.
Hmm.
And with me or without me. So that's basically the point.
Jeju, I have
Right.
like one more question before I open the floor to their Q&A session in case they have some questions on the spot. But even
Yeah.
before I ask that question to you, because I've like personally seen a very positive feedback of your course, and I'm not like pushing it to the audience because I generally don't do that on the channel as well.
You should
But
push.
I mean,
you
I
should
would love
bindas.
to. I'm in a way subtly also doing that by saying this, but like genuinely because see what might have happened is, and I read your comments also that people have already invested in a lot of coachings, right? They already have a course that they paid 25,000 for or 50,000 for, but the course material isn't helping them improve their scores. So if at this moment they feel that they want to improve their VRC scores and they have an option to go for your course, could you help them understand? मतलब गारंटी तो आप नहीं दे पाओगे कि ज्वाइन करोगे तो 99 आ जाएगा, but like could you help them understand why should they be investing in your course, or what's the likelihood that their score will improve after the course? I know this is probably a very weird question from my
Yeah.
end,
So
but
this
I'm just
is
thinking from their
this.
standpoint that they
So
might be
so
thinking
so
like
so
this.
so so, so, so shall I show the course quickly?
If
I
you
can.
can, sure. Would you guys want to see a glimpse of the course? Because, like,
Well,
see, if I could, like, generally, I don't recommend the course on the channel, but I've genuinely seen a positive response. And if you could just probably give them a glimpse, they might be in a better position to decide whether they would want to go for it or not.
yeah, yeah.
Would you guys want a quick go through of the course? In that case, Juju can run you around, and somebody, okay, Manik is also asking if there'll be a discount. Would
Yeah.
you be giving a discount to the subscribers of the channel?
First question is first question is discount.
Okay, yeah, a lot of people are saying yes, they would want to go through the course. So it would be great if you share your screen, and
Okay.
that'll really help
So
them.
there you go. Okay, let me just where
Got
is it?
it.
So this is done under the CL part. If I go back and look at, so basically, I have created the course in a series of lessons. So something that
Okay.
is core, and then there are some strategy lessons and daily article for public to read. Uh, then some daily test. This course is not a live course, but I engage with them and कुछ
Okay.
extra चीजें. The course is
Hmm.
primarily for the cat, but I put some lessons for non-cat also. So when you look at the core lessons, there are all these short modules. Module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all these put together will be about 70 hours if you watch in 1x speed. Okay.
70 hours.
So
Okay. Okay.
70. Let's say there'll be a lot of lessons, but if you look at 27 minutes, 25 minutes. So I
Hmm. Hmm.
start by basically getting into complete insight into what VRC is.
Okay.
So the getting know from the cat. Then I move on to these skill lessons. So how to comprehend sentences, how to comprehend passages, what
Hmm.
are the option traps, what are the different type of questions. In some cases, there is a pre-session test that I want students to take,
Okay.
and then they can watch the video. And
Hmm.
otherwise, it's not there. So I look at option traps,
Okay.
and then I have dedicated one whole module on different all these inference-based questions.
Hmm.
I have dedicated it, so you can see, and then once you understand the skills, and then I have application lesson. This is where I picked up various type of passages from the cat.
Okay.
The recent one, social science passage number 4, and for using the passages, I've tried to help them understand how to read, and how to, well, around by this time, people
Hmm.
should have a fair idea into how to deal with it, and they are on their own. Okay, so by now they'll get to know, and so that is sort of the RC lesson. Then I get into VA skills.
Okay.
I At the end of the day, all the three questions of VA is basically asking you to evaluate paragraph. So
Hmm.
what are the pillars of a paragraph? I talked about echo words, signaling words, sentence block, who is a question setter, zooming in as an idea, and I've got VA application lessons. So these are sort of the core lessons that students go through, and
Okay.
everything is they can watch it, and you can actually see that uh, something I force a discipline by
Hmm.
forcing them to take the test before taking the course, because this is not live, so I can't force, but I force them, and then get into this strategy lesson. Strategy lesson is I'm uploading this as go along. Four
Okay.
RCs in 30 minutes. So just four
Hmm.
RCs in 30 minutes. Lessons like 8 BA question in 12 minutes.
Okay.
I've also created this lesson which is T20, matlab, 20 minutes, two passages, four things.
Hmm.
So this is like building strategy. Everything has got video solutions.
Okay.
Then there are these article dos. This is where kids have, the students have asked me, sir, article दे दो करके. So इसमें मैं क्या करता हूँ? So if I basically look at number 10, I don't know. Let's open this. So this takes me close to 2 hours, 3 hours every day to create.
You
This is
create
my
these and upload them daily.
create. मतलब I source it. So
Okay.
this is like
Okay.
I wake up in the morning,
Hmm.
5 o'clock, 5 to 8. This is what I'm doing. So basically, I picked up articles from various sources. Okay, for example, this I've taken from Inside Human Geography.
Okay.
Then I ask them, okay, I create this number one, number three key idea बताओ उसका. Okay,
Hmm.
then
This is
I
what you were
write.
mentioning, ki you scribble it
Uh,
and okay, okay.
so
Got
then
it. Hmm.
they can scribble it, and then I write what the key idea is. There's a key idea that is mentioned. Then I've got all these reasoning checks. Okay, this
Oh,
is what took a lot of time. So this is like every day I try to create one. I'm just so it's a had one day one plus my video is there. So this allows people to actually read stuff.
wow, this is
And
quite detailed.
yeah, this is my, and then section tests just started. I think I'll do 8. So we just started the first one.
Okay. Hmm.
So I'll create 8 section tests. There are live sessions which I'll meet once or twice or thrice in the month. This month I'm dedicated to paragraph completion, paragraph jumble. I think the next session is happening day after tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll meet them, and then I have some grammar. These grammar lessons are not taken by me because I just didn't have any time. So,
Hmm.
but I will add some lessons on that and other things. Not added. I'll add later.
Okay.
Plus I put some extras.
Hmm.
Wherein I've created some paragraph completion test. Plus I put whichever is the cat passages that I'm not used in the videos. I've put all the previous year's
Okay.
cat
Hmm.
questions here for them to solve. So basically if you were to in a nutshell, that's the reason why I believe the course is good. If let's say somebody is looking at the course, I think it's this is the design is course. I think
Hmm.
that's what makes the difference. The way in which the course is designed.
Hmm.
It's so easy to say passage one, passage two, chapter one, chapter two.
Hmm.
So the pain that has gone through in terms of figuring out, this is something which makes the course, and yeah. So
So
to answer, therefore to
basically,
answer.
yeah.
Uh,
No, no, go ahead.
so to answer the question, so if anyone is already going through some course, I would basically say that uh, there's no specific reason as to why you should suddenly join something else, because you'll be doing
Hmm.
something very different.
Hmm.
And but if you do, it's like you're like Messi moving from PSG to Inter Miami, and then you have a new coach. So you have a new team. So then you forget about what happened before. But I will typically, if you're already into some course, you should sort of consider, if you believe that it's sort of really bad, and then your scores are bad, then you want to sort of pick it up and use it. So
Hmm.
there are a lot of these lessons already there, which is article dose, and don't get overwhelmed. The core
Hmm.
of the course is just do the core lessons,
Hmm.
uh, just do the strategy lessons, do some drill, and I'm sure that your score will absolutely improve.
Jijo, can they just sign up and access some free
Yeah.
sessions? Is that possible for them to go through some sessions?
There, there is, I think. So if you if you go to the link, which is
Yeah, I've added
VRC,
your course
uh,
link
so
in the
obviously they can
description
go
and
there and
also on
check,
the chat.
or they can. So basically, I'm teaching, no. So they can check out my channel, look at my some of my videos,
Hmm.
and figure out and figure out if that makes sense,
Sure,
and
sure.
then yeah, yeah,
I'll also link your playlist in the description after this session. They can also go
yeah,
through
sure.
the same. Although
The first
you
my
said that
first
it's
was
been revised.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
sure.
okay. I think the story is still the same. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Definitely. I have one last question, after which I will open the floor to them, which is regarding your attempt strategy. So let's assume Jejo is going to attempt the CAT VRC paper. 40 minutes are about to begin. Can you help us visualize how your um, paper attempt would look like? How would you bifurcate the 40 minutes? What would you do first so that someone gets an idea how to go about those 40 minutes?
See, there are, see, there are, there would be somebody who is basically saying that I'm going to look at all the 24 questions. Right? So let's say one category of students, which will be less, but there is that one category of students who's basically saying that I'm going to look at all 24. Which then there is, it doesn't matter what you do. Okay. So for the vast majority of people, I'm probably they're doing three passages
Yeah.
or on a worst case, two passages. So therefore, the first thing is to get the VA out first
Hmm.
because you're dealing with single questions, no. So once you start with RC, you don't know how long it'll take and stuff. So get your VA out. 8 VA question is like 2 RC passages, and then you go to the RCs. My suggestion is that the problem that normally happens is when people say I've read the passage, somehow they think that I have to answer every single question. So the biggest time waste that is actually happening, it is not in the passage. It is actually in the questions.
Hmm.
You're so if you can just tell yourself that so there are so many questions. There are 24. You just have to pick about 12. If you have the attitude that I will read the passage at the pace of my comprehension, I'll pick up the questions what I can. I will rarely go back to the passage. But I'll try and understand the passage and keep skipping some of the questions that I believe is really confusing and keep moving forward. Then I don't have to keep in my mind that I have to solve 2 passages or 3 passages or 4 passages. All that I'm saying is that I will read a particular passage based on my pace, keep picking up question and not having fight with the question. So a simple strategy therefore would be at the core of it is not to get stuck in questions. If you can achieve that and read the passage sensibly, so that sort of is the core idea. But those of you are probably doing 3 RCs or 2 RCs at this point, 2 RCs is actually a very bad. At least you should do 3. But those of you doing on that, then I would recommend that you do VA first. For the rest, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay, and here I have a very small follow-up, which was this was a comment posted on the community post, and a lot of people liked it. So I'm assuming it's a frequently asked question sort of a thing. So they've asked that once they're spending a lot of time on an RC, if they're stuck, if they're not able to grasp the central passage, if they're not able to answer the questions, when is the right time to skip the passage altogether and to move on to the next one? Or in other words, what's the right way to know which is the first passage you should be attempting?
Oh, you're saying that I read the passage
Like not
and I
not
okay,
read
so you're saying
but
okay, see that you will get to know where you get stuck in the first paragraph only, right? So for example, I understood the first paragraph. I get the story of second paragraph. I move to the third paragraph. It's a little confusing, but I get a broad idea. I'll move to the fourth paragraph and pick up whichever question I can solve.
okay.
Okay, so because I have to get some broad ideas. Okay, so I can solve. Now the second question is if I have to select uh, sort of a select question. I honestly, if you ask me, I don't know how because the problem is that at the end of the day, the issue is with options. I will only come to know when I
After
get there.
reading the message.
Okay.
Correct.
So I cannot look at questions and decide because whatever be the question, answer is going to be in the passage. So the best sense, therefore, is bet on the idea that if I can understand the passage, I'll be able to handle the options. So I'll probably pick up passages based on what I believe is my comfort area. Okay,
Got
so
it.
CAT will have, let's say, one passage on natural sciences, a couple about social science, humanities, right? If, let's say, for some reason you are uncomfortable with, let's say, passage humanities, and you're comfortable with this one, I would then say start with your comfort passage and then move on. What I would not like to say, there are people who would say that, look, I want to spend about 4 minutes figuring out what to do. But why would you want to spend 4 minutes figuring out what to do? Read one passage in 4 minutes. No,
Hmm.
just what are you figuring out? So to answer the question, I think the sort of the what you can bet on is assuming that if I understand the passage, I'll be able to do it. But
Hmm.
there is no guarantee, because at the end of the day, eventually it all depends upon the option. So
Correct, correct.
that's
No, awesome. Firstly, I would like to thank you for taking out the time to speak so much and to help these guys. And I would again thank you because I'm yet to ask them a couple of, I'll ask them to add the questions if they have any. They've already asked so many. But guys, if you have any question that's left out, please do put it in the chat box so that I can ask on your behalf. But I would still like to thank you, Jejo, for all the tips you shared. Like a lot of things make sense. They're very intuitive, but somehow we just skip them while solving
Yeah,
the questions. Like,
thank you so much for inviting, and we are I think we exceeded our time, so so that's
yeah, we have. I was genuinely curious to learn from you, like as a
thank you so much,
student also.
thank you for all the kind words, and thank you for all the great things that you spoke about my course. I think
No, no,
thank
I
you so much.
meant them. So,
Yeah.
okay. Another word, if you guys want to check out Jejo's course, I've put it in the pinned comment. I've also added it in the description, and after this, I'll also pin it. So, okay, Manik is again asking if you have some discount. If there is a discount, it will also be mentioned in the pinned comment
So,
after
so
the session.
So actually, there is no right. So the reason why is I'm never given. So I never. So the only thing is that the only way to give discount is increase the fees and reduce it.
Hmm.
Then I'm not given to anyone so far. So, and it's not very costly, but and it's up to you at the end of the day. So whether you want to pick it or not pick it. So
No, no,
that I
correct.
can say
Makes
safely.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And I personally believe that people who make great courses, they don't offer discounts. Like I don't on my GDPI course. Although I can't say it's a great course, but I don't offer a discount as well. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question. Oh, somebody has asked, Mitesh has asked that suppose someone enrolls in your course, what regime should a student follow daily to optimize benefits from your course?
Follow the course, no. So the course will force you to have a regime. So you start with the core lessons. Keep doing the article doses, and once you finish the core lesson, start doing the drills, because the course itself is forcing you to learn through test. So the only thing that you got to do is to just start from the first and keep on going, and
Okay.
follow the regime. And plus, you will be part of the group, and then you ask me whatever is the issue, then I will resolve them to the best of my abilities.
Okay, so you're saying course sessions they complete and side by side they take the daily doses
So
and
the core
then
session they complete, they side by
hmm,
side read the articles.
hmm,
Once
hmm,
they finish the the core lesson, which is be
then
about 70
strategy
hours,
ones.
that's
Hmm,
about, they can do it in about 30 days or 20 days, depending on how many videos they want to watch.
hmm,
And then they go through the drills and keep solving the strategy lessons. And then if they have doubts, issues, problems, they can also ask. And plus, my community, the VRC community is also there. I think there were a bunch of fighters in the group, and so they will also be there to sort of support you, help you. There's a lot of
hmm.
people who have gone through the sort of course. They can also support what best work for them, and sort of be a part of a community, and then sort of will take it forward. Yeah.
Okay, done. Somebody named Devil has asked, and this reminds me of the photographs that you draw.
I would want to answer Devil's question. What is the question?
He's saying how to skim passages. Would you recommend skimming or would you recommend the central passage while approach?
So you have to first define what skimming is, right?
Hmm.
Skimming is if I define skimming as identifying and retaining only the key ideas,
Hmm.
or and not bothering about certain things. Yes, skimming works, right? But a lot of people think skimming as just that's not skimming. So my my in general answer is don't skim.
Hmm.
Okay, read it chupchap. Okay, read it once. And but retaining key ideas is the key. So you go through every single paragraph, retain those ideas. Those are the key things. That will help.
There is a question by Ethya, which is, I hope I'm taking the name correctly. He is asking how to stay motivated till November, specifically in
So
VARC.
this you should ask her. Okay. She's an expert in this.
No,
If
no,
you
but I
ask
would love to
me,
hear from you as well. I keep speaking on this channel.
so yeah, no, first of all, na, according to motivation सब छोड़ दो, है ना? Huh? Yeah. So I think the way in which I would look at this is that it's make it duty bound. You decide that you want to go to the B school of your choice.
Hmm.
Uh, and imagine that it is your duty. You have to. It's your duty to do it. Whether hell, it's you have to. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have good days. And it's like going to work. You have a duty है, forced है. You have to do it. I mean, there are going to be bad days. There are going to be good days. But you still have to go. So if you make it duty bound, you go through the process.
Hmm.
And I don't know what will make uh, the, 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 the desire is always there. So you desire to achieve something. You're motivated of the outcome. Should you make it to the B school of your choice? So you're always motivated. You're just talking about one of those days when you have sort of sort of
Not feeling.
bad thing happen. Not
Hmm.
you're not doing great, and everybody has those days. So just chill and start the next day. So make it task bound, make it duty bound. Think it's a duty to do, and I'm
Hmm.
sure life is good. And keep listening to Shweta. You'll be fine.
So we have another question by Gabru Gaming, which is how to handle the pressure in mock. Sometimes I remember when I used to take mocks, मेरा ध्यान हमेशा वो timer पे रहता था. Like how do we handle that pressure? Sometimes people say वहाँ नहीं हुआ लेकिन वापस आके भी solve तो हो गया.
So it is see how so I think the see the how do I put this? The pressure is largely coming because of the list of expectation that we have with the test and lot of these desire that is happening. The timer is running. The frustration
Hmm.
that we have. The way in which you want to sort of so there are a couple of things practically you could do. One is make the timer your friend in the sense that the 40 minutes. This go for all section. Have some broad idea what you have to achieve in every 10 minutes. So I should be somewhere here, I should be somewhere here, I should be somewhere here, or let's say 20 minutes or 15 minutes. And then broad idea. I'm not saying I should finish two passages, three passages. I should be probably in the second or third paragraph. Have sort of broad idea uh, in terms of the internal timer, and then tell yourself that you should just focus on the question on the screen
Hmm.
and do that particular question and keep moving. I think people would have been doing the third mock, fourth mock. I don't know how it was for you. I think by the time you solved your 15th, 20th mock, it's a second nature हुआ होगा ना?
हाँ, correct,
नहीं.
correct. It was only like initially ही था ये सब चीजें, then you get used to it. Like after around
हाँ,
10
so
marks, you get used to
you get इतना fight. I think so at this point in time you'll get used to this. After some point in time it's like ठीक है. So the pressure is because of something that is new. You would have taken about 4 tests, 5 tests. By the
it.
time you're in the 20, this pressure will not be. I don't think it'll be there. Yeah.
Somebody is taking your course already. So Ayush has written, if I am attending sir's old VARC 1000 recorded classes, is it enough for a new course or this new course has some additional
If you
benefits?
if you're taking the old VRC 1000 videos, you have taken it illegally because it's running around.
He's
What are
Ayush
it?
Agarwal.
What are you doing, Ayush? Give me what? I'm basically saying that किसी ने मतलब
Oh.
I'm sure that some courses that I've created 3 years ago, 4 years ago is available here and there. I have no problem. Please do it. I am guessing it's going to be okay. But don't ask me. Sir, I am watching your course illegally. What do you think it's this idea? I'm not saying illegally. I think it's not illegal. I don't know what is it, but yeah. So yeah, it's
Okay.
a
So a lot of people are curious about the price of your course and the validity of the course.
price is what I think 5 grand.
Okay.
Validity is. till you go to IIM, till March of next year.
So it will be available till then. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
5,000 for all the students alike, or there's a separate categorization as well? Because a
So,
lot
so
of them are saying that we're also part of career launcher.
also, if you're a career launch student, there are waivers available.
Okay.
I forgot what that is, so I'll just go and check. So it is basically, what is the fees? 5,000 plus GST, so extra kuch hai. So if
Hmm.
it is a classroom student, there is a 25% waiver. If you are a
Hmm.
past VRC 1000, there is a 25% waiver.
Hmm.
Past students of 10%. There are some waivers. Why are you thinking about discount and all? Just, just take it. I'm just joking. These are legitimate questions.
Hmm. Somebody has asked that should they be reading philosophy books right now or anything else which like related to the, so in other words I would say what would be the source you would recommend them? So one is that they can take your course and go through the daily doses or the passages that you're adding, because you're adding them exactly from the same source where let's say the cat passages are also taken from. So they'll be very similar in nature. Having said that, if somebody is, let's say, preparing on their own, what sources would you recommend which are like very close to the passages that come in the CAT exam?
So to answer, you should read. So you should read for the sake of reading in general. So if you like philosophy, you should read philosophy books and articles. But if you're kind of wanting to look at articles for the cat, now cat is very diverse. So there is no sort of fixed. So they do pick up sources from articles, journals, and stuff. So what I would recommend is to, in general, keep reading as diverse as possible. So there are sites that have got good essays, right? For example, Eon Essays is one. There is
Hmm.
a site called JSTOR Daily. JSTOR Daily. You can read from Smithsonian. So it's just about exposing yourself to as much diverse as possible. It it so it the topics that the cat is picking are topic which will be diverse, and it can be for any topic. So your objective on reading is, after reading, I'm able to retain the key ideas. I'm able to uh, understand what the author is trying to say, and just have that habit going, and that should be sort of enough. Plus, when you're anyway solving reading comprehension passage, you're still reading stuff. So reading as diverse as possible. Having said that, if you have other interest, and if you want to build interest in philosophy, you like reading philosophy, please go ahead and do it. You should read. You should actually read for the sake of reading as well. Yeah.
I will take another question, which is by Josh, which is that he or she, I'm not sure, is getting around 3 questions correct per RC. But the thing is, I'm not able to solve all the 4 RCs. Mostly, I'm able to attempt 3 at max. So, would you say that is sufficient or it's a good attempt?
Getting about 3 questions. Yeah, yeah. So if you are able to get about 75% accuracy by solving three RCs, then you're likely going to be at 99 percentile. Now the only way that you can move to fourth RC is, see, you cannot reduce the speed of reading, right? So that you can't help it. So you can't save time there, right? So you have to read the passage at your pace of comprehension. But where you can reduce is, maybe evaluate the 4 questions that you're solving and see if there are questions that you're unnecessarily spending extra time. For instance, if you spend, let's say there are a couple of questions, you spend 2 minutes extra. As you got some 4 questions like this. 4 twos are 8. That 8 minutes might be good enough to actually solve the fourth pass.
Hmm.
So don't keep any sort of idea in your mind that I want to solve 3, I want to solve 4.
Hmm.
Since you have got a good accuracy percentage, you start reading currently, and keep moving, and don't get stuck in any question. You tell yourself that if I get stuck, if I have time, I'll come back. I'll keep moving forward, and if I get a chance to look at the fourth RC, I will look at the fourth RC. That's what they should.
Another query has come up for your course, which is that will your course be helpful for GMAT? Or let's say OMENS, so I think it will be helpful because you have ZATCA and other
Open
exams.
Kelly, I have very few things that it's not. I will still not say that it'll be really helpful for OMET, but since the
Will be a
people are
complementary.
taking the test, I've added some lessons, but it's not per se designed for OMET. I don't know how many of these OMETs remain, but एक एक करके it's
ऐसे
uh,
तो नहीं रहेगा.
so ठीक है, but something is going to remain. So to answer the question, GMAT के लिए, see, GMAT is a very standardized test. Right, so you know what's going to happen. So GMAT has got this, and GMAT focus does not have sentence correction anymore. So my course don't have, let's say, GMAT focused critical reasoning questions or
Hmm.
uh, GMAT focused reading comprehension. Though by and large, the the skills are broadly the same. But if you're looking at GMAT, I would recommend not to pick up my course because it will not be beneficial to you. I think that there'll be a lot of courses which is out there that
Okay.
can evaluate, which is dedicated to GMAT, and that'll be better. Is what I would.
Makes sense. We have taken a lot of your time, Jijo. I'm extremely,
Why
extremely thankful. I'll
I
copy your level of energy, although I'm like a very laid back person. So I'll be like, thank you so much, Jijo, for coming here. I don't even know how to say that, but thank you so much for being here and taking out the
Yeah, yeah.
time
So,
to
so,
test your
so
skills.
if you let me speak, I'll honestly keep on speaking. I took a lot of your time as well. I'm really sorry,
Arey, nahi, nahi.
but
I'm
it's been
really, really
fun.
grateful. Yeah,
I
it
think
is. It is. I wish we can do more of these sessions. Will you be open to doing another session for DLR and QA as well, since you've taught those courses also?
this I have taught long time, but I can
We know that
give.
because you were not able to arrive at 51 instantly.
So I can give a certain perspective in terms of what I believe to do well in DLR and stuff. Yes, I can.
Sure, sure.
Uh, that is sure. But I'm really happy. I'm really. It's fun. It's great. And
Yeah.
thank you for all the students joined in. I have
Yes.
not seen any of this comment. Hopefully, things are good.
No, no. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. If you guys have any more questions that we could not take up in this session, you can add it to the comment section later. And would suggest you all to check out Jejo's playlist, Jejo's YouTube channel, and also VARC1000 in case you guys are interested. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Thank you, Jejo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.